Africa, the land of the elephant, rhino, gorilla, and sea turtle is at war. Poachers, corruption, and global demands for her resources have put Africa in dangerous waters. Many Africans purely depend on healthy land, forests, rivers, mangroves, reefs, and oceans. For 50 years, WWF has invested in innovative solutions in Africa to conserve habitats and maintain key ecological services critical for people and nature. However, we have only scratched the surface. Huge gaps still exist to inspire and mobilize critical stakeholders, from communities to political leaders, to help bridge these yawning needs. On 9th October 1961, WWF made a call to action to save the African rhino. But heavy poaching is still seriously decimating the rhino. Africa's elephants are at a critical and steep decline. Elephants are being killed for their tusks and rhinos for their horns that are prized for their perceived medicinal value. People continue to destroy large areas of wildlife habitat, bringing communities into conflict with wildlife. Urgent action needs to be taken by WWF to significantly raise awareness and, together with governments, stop the illegal trade in wildlife. The forest ecosystems of the Congo Basin span much of Central Africa, which covers 180 million hectares spread over 6 countries. Deforestation, land degradation, illegal logging, charcoal burning, and heavy use of wood fuel, mining operations, as well as related infrastructure, remain serious threats to the Congo Basin and other African forests. These and other challenges have led to an increase in greenhouse gas emissions, land degradation, and changes in river water regimes. WWF needs to ratchet up work with businesses, governments, and communities to promote reforestation, restoration, as well as market-based solutions. WWF and partners are supporting the implementation of market-based mechanisms where communities are rewarded for undertaking sustainable and improved use of land and fuel wood. Despite such positive gains, 9 of Africa's 11 largest river basins now have serious scarcity at least 1 month every year. This underscores the importance of planning water allocations for people, agriculture, as well as nature, in order to minimize conflicts and irreversible changes in ecosystem functions. The coastal waters of eastern, southern, and western Africa shelter endangered marine turtles, as well as some of the world's healthiest fish populations, including global commodities such as tuna and shrimp. WWF continues to promote the creation of new protected areas in Africa that become centers for habitat protection and preservation of marine biodiversity. However, because of unsustainable and illegal fishing, heavy presence of foreign fishing vessels, high population, poverty, poor coastal planning, exploitation of oil and gas, Africa continues to experience a serious decline in seafood stocks. The effects of climate change are very visible in Africa, and science suggests that these changes are going to become even more extreme. This poses a threat to the gains WWF has made over the last 50 years. WWF needs to work more with vulnerable communities to assess how they can cope with the adverse effects of climate change. There has to be a transformational intervention on the ground. We need to continue our advocacy for a new global climate agreement that will help the world reduce and withstand the impacts of climate change. Energy is critical for sustainable development. Over 1.5 million Africans die every year due to illnesses related to indoor air pollution from combustion of biomass for fuel. Yet hydropower, geothermal, solar, wind, and more efficient utilization of biomass remain largely untapped. African nations are progressively pegging their economic development on oil and gas discoveries. This puts the continent at direct loggerheads with the conservation of key natural habitats, some in critical wildlife protected areas. WWF needs to take a bold step to engage governments in responsible exploitation of oil and gas, sustainable development that generates benefits for the environment and the people who depend on it. A change in WWF's approach to conservation in Africa must focus on impact-driven conservation models. Our leadership must be visionary, credible, and be able to deliver conservation impact at scale while influencing decision makers from the grassroots to the highest political levels. WWF needs strong offices that decide and execute powerful conservation programs, are a vibrant part of civil society, and that attract and retain the best conservation and operational talent. We can only be effective if we enter into strategic partnerships to broaden our constituency and gain relevance in regional and national policy and development. We need to become bold in developing a new funding model that is diverse, allows for growth, and is flexible. In building a stronger WWF in Africa, we will be leading the way to achieving a truly global organization.
On the slopes of Mount Kilimanjaro at Marangu, Kala village, There is a place where nature and modern luxuries coexist in perfect balance. It is a place like no other, rich in color and natural beauty, where nature is not only adored but greatly revered. A place abundant with choices that nature has provided. A place with a cultural fusion that will let your soul dance and sing and rejoice. Kilimanjaro Mountain Resort. Come and enjoy your stay at the best holiday, conference and mountain climbing destination in northern Tanzania. Visit our website at www.kilimanjaromtresort.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, ni wakati wa kukaa na kusherehekea pamoja huku tukiwakabidhi tunzo washindi wa Kilimanjaro Tanzania Music Awards 2010. Umewadia. Ni Jumamosi ya tarehe 26 mwezi huu wa 3, 2011, Diamond Jubilee Hall, kuanzia saa 1 jioni. Tiketi zinapatikana katika vituo vifuatavyo: maduka ya Zizo Fashions, Sinza na Victoria, ofisi za Clouds FM, Mikocheni, Shia Illusions, Millennium Towers na Mlimani City, Steers, Samora Avenue, Lobby One Fashions, kwa Makoba, Born to Shine Mwenge opposite na TRA, na Maisha Club Oyster Bay. Bei ni shilingi 25,000 kwa VIP na shilingi 15,000 sehemu ya kawaida. Kilimanjaro Premium Lager, bonge la kiburudisho kwa Watanzania.
At the start of the last century, the Kenya-Uganda Railway provided the infrastructure that opened up our country and connected us to the world for trade and tourism. At the start of this century, a new infrastructure is once again opening up our country, connecting us to the world in ways that we couldn't even dream of 100 years ago. This new infrastructure is the Kenya Data Networks, KDN. Kenya Data Networks is a full-service data communications carrier that was licensed by the CCK in January 2003 as a public data network operator with a mission to build a world-class data infrastructure in Kenya. Just as the railway infrastructure carried people and goods back and forth between Kenya and the world, our infrastructure today carries the most important commodity in today's world: information. Information that allows people to be productive at work and enjoy the things that they love to do to make their lives happier and more meaningful. We call this triple play, a term that refers to our ability to carry data, voice, and video all on the same network.
Our vision is to be the Pan-African ICT infrastructure provider of choice. Following this vision, our mission is to develop Africa's information, communication and telecommunications industry by providing first-class infrastructure services and to encourage knowledge transfer by promoting research and development in Africa.
Kenya's mobile telephone carriers use our fiber optic networks to transmit data between their base stations around the country, keeping conversations flowing all over Kenya. Every time you say hello on your mobile phone, KDN is there to ensure that the laughter and the joy is not interrupted. Whenever a thought is shared over the internet, a smile spread in a chat message, or a vital business transaction communicated in an email, chances are that it has traveled on our infrastructure.
From its inception, KDN has been very instrumental in implementing innovative data networking services, expanding access to critical information and network technology, identifying business opportunities and providing strategic and business planning to a wide variety of groups.
Whenever you get instant access to your hard-earned cash, spare a thought for the invisible people who make it possible for you to pick up your cash from anywhere at any time. Banks and financial institutions rely on KDN's network to connect their branch and ATM networks all over the country 24 hours a day. Whenever you swipe your credit card or watch satellite television, we are there in the background, ensuring that your lifestyle progresses seamlessly from one phase to another.
Our products include point-to-point data links within Nairobi and even different towns across the country as well as the region. We also have a telehouse facility for clients who want to set up a secure disaster recovery program. We have formed strategic partnerships with organizations that are looking for reliable sites to operate from or even for backup. We also offer security camera services to businesses and residential areas to monitor what's happening on the streets as well as highways so they can make informed decisions. Our other products include internet gateway services and of course the Butterfly, which is a lifestyle that symbolizes the freedom and is essentially a brand for the end user who wants to work anywhere and play everywhere.
Of all things we do, we derive the most joy from our contribution to the development of our nation's future leaders by providing backbone to the new venture that is connecting Kenyan schools to the internet and the information superhighway.
KDN is not just about maximizing on business. We also want to give back to the very same community that we live in. We are in this for the long haul and are here to stay. So far, we've provided internet connectivity to 20 schools to use for learning, and we plan to grow this number because we want to grow a generation of IT users, as we believe this is where the present and the future lie. KDN recognizes the importance of our environment. Our fundamental guiding principle is the concept of sustainability and moving towards being neutral in carbon emissions. We are in fact endeavoring to use resources in a manner that will not compromise the ability of future generations.
All these things have been possible because we've had a clear and purposeful vision of where we want to take our business. Our goal is to provide universal access to all Kenyans by covering 80% of Kenya's population with affordable voice, video, and data solutions.
Our commitment does not stop there. Currently, we are involved in a plan to bring digital villages to every constituency in Kenya. A digital village is essentially a center equipped with 5 to 10 or even more computers where citizens, normal users, can access information electronically from the government, from schools, on farming, and any aspect that touches our life.
At KDN, we are harnessing the possibilities of the future, bringing information and its benefits right to your doorstep. To find out how KDN can help answer your business needs, please email us on info@kdn.co.ke.